Windows 7 is a personal computer operating system developed by Microsoft. It is a part of Windows NT family of operating systems. Windows 7 was released to manufacturing on July 22, 2009 and became generally available on October 22, 2009. Less than 3 years after the release of its predecessor Windows Vista. Windows 7 Server counterpart, Windows Server 2008 R2 was released at the same time. Windows 7 was primarily intended to be an incremental upgrade to the operating system, intended to address Windows Vista poor critical reception while maintaining hardware and software compatibility. Windows 7 continue improvements on Windows Aero with the addition of redesigned taskbar that allows application to be pinned to it and new window management features. Other new features were added to the operating system, including libraries, the new file sharing system, home group, and support for multi-touch input. A new Action Center interface was also added to provide an overview of system security and maintenance information, and tweaks were made to the user account control system to make it less intrusive. Windows 7 also shipped updated versions of several stack applications including Internet Explorer 8, Windows Media Player, and Windows Media Center.
Development history. Originally, a version of Windows codenamed Blackcomb was planned as a successor to Windows XP and Windows Server 2003 in 2000. Major features were planned for Blackcomb, including an emphasis in searching and carrying data, and an advanced storage system named WinFS to enable such scenarios. However, an interim minor release, codenamed Longhorn, was announced for 2003, delaying the development of Blackcomb. By the middle of 2003, however, Longhorn had acquired some of the features originally intended for Blackcomb. After 3 major viruses, the Blaster, Nachi, and Sobig worms exploited flaws in Windows operating systems within a short time of period in August 2003. Microsoft changed its development priorities, putting some of Longhorn's major development work on hold while developing new service packs for Windows XP and Windows Server 2003. When released, Windows Vista was criticized for its long development time, performance issues, spotty compatibility with existing hardware and software on launch, changes affecting the compatibility of certain PC games, and unclear assurances by Microsoft that certain computers shipping with XP prior to launch would be Vista capable, which led to a class action lawsuit, among other critics. As such, adoption of Vista in comparison to XP remained somewhat low. In July 2007, 6 months following the public release of Vista, it was reported that the next version of Windows would then be codenamed Windows 7, with plans for a final release within 3 years. Windows 7 would also be official name of the operating system. There has been some confusion over naming the product Windows 7, while versioning it as 6.1 to indicate its similar build to Vista and increased compatibility with applications that only check major version numbers, similar to Windows 2000 and Windows XP, both having 5-point times version numbers. The first external release to select Microsoft partners came in January 2008 with Milestone 1, build 6519. Speaking about Windows 7 on October 16, 2008, Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer confirmed compatibility between Windows Vista and Windows 7, indicating that Windows 7 would be a refined version of Windows Vista. At PDC 2008, Microsoft demonstrated Windows 7 with its reworked taskbar. On December 27, 2008, the Windows 7 beta was leaked onto the internet via BitTorrent. According to a performance test by CDNet, Windows 7 Beta beat both Windows XP and Vista in several key areas, including boot and shutdown time and working with files, such as loading documents. Other areas did not beat XP, including PC Pro benchmarks for typical office activities and video editing, which remained identical to Vista and slower than XP. On January 7, 2009, the x64 version of the Windows 7 beta was leaked onto the web, with some torrents being infected with the Trojan. At CES 2009, Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer announced that Windows 7 Beta Build 700 had been made available for download to MSDN and TechNet subscribers in the format of an ISO image. The release candidate Build 7100 became available for MSDN and TechNet subscribers and Connect programs participants on April 30, 2009. On May 5, 2009, it became available to the general public, although it had also been leaked onto the internet via BitTorrent. The release candidate was available in 5 languages and expired on June 1, 2010 with shutdowns every 2 hours starting March 1, 2010. Microsoft stated that Windows 7 would be released to the general public on October 22, 2009. Microsoft released Windows 7 to MSDN and TechNet subscribers on August 6, 2009 at 10 a.m. PDT. Microsoft announced that Windows 7 along with Windows Server 2008 R2 was released to manufacturing on July 22, 2009. Windows 7 RTM is build 7600.16385.090713-1255, which was compiled on July 13, 2009 and was declared the final RTM build after passing all Microsoft's tests internally.
Windows 7 new features. Advanced in touch and handwriting recognition, support for virtual hard disk, improved performance on multi-core processors, improved boot performance, direct access and kernel improvements. Windows 7 adds support for systems using multiple heterogeneous graphic cards from different vendors. A new version of Windows Media Center, a gadget for Windows Media Center, improved media features, XPS Essentials Pack, and media features of Windows PowerShell. Being include a redesigned calculator with multi-line capabilities including programmer and statistics. Modes along unit conversion for length, width, temperature, and several others. Many new items have been added to the control panel, including clear type text, display color collaboration wizard, gadgets, recovery, troubleshooting, workspaces, location and other sensors, credential manager, biometric, system icons and display. Windows Security Center has been renamed to Windows Action Center, or also known as Windows Health Center and Windows Solution Center, which encompasses both security and maintenance of the computer. Ready boost on 32-bit editions now support to 256 GB of extra allocation. Windows 7 also supports images in raw image format through the addition of Windows Imaging component-enabled image decoders, which enabled raw image thumbnails and previewing, and metadata display in Windows Explorer, plus full-size viewing and slideshows in Windows Photo Viewer. And Windows Media Center. Windows have also a native TFTP client with the ability to transfer files to or from a TFTP server. The taskbar has seen to the biggest visual changes where the old Quick Launch toolbar has been replaced with the ability to pin applications to taskbar. Buttons for pinned application are integrated with the task buttons. These buttons also jump lists to allow easy access to common tasks. The revamped taskbar also allows the reordering of taskbar buttons. To the far right of the system clock is a small rectangular button serves as the show desktop icon. By default, hovering over these buttons makes all visible windows transparent. For a quick look at the desktop in touch, it enables displays such as touchscreens, tablets, and PCs. This button is slightly wider in order to accommodate being pressed by a finger. Clicking this button minimizes all windows and clicking it a second time restores. Windows management in Windows 7 has several new features, which is Snap Maximize, a window when it is dragged to the top of the screen. Dragging windows to the left or right edges of the screen allows user to snap software windows either of the side screen such that the windows take up half of the screen. When a user moves windows that were snapped or maximized using a snap, the system restores their previous step or state. Snap function can also trigger with keyboard and shake hides all inactive windows. When the active Windows title bar is dragged back and forth rapidly. Internet spades, internet backgammon, and internet checkers, which were removed from the windows, were restored in Windows 7. Users are able to disable or customize many more Windows components that was enabled or possible in Windows Vista. New additions to the list of components include Internet Explorer, Windows Media Player 12, Windows Media Center, Windows Search, and Windows Gadget Platform. A new version of Microsoft Virtual PC, newly renamed as Windows Virtual PC, was made available for Windows 7 Professional, Enterprise, and Ultimate Windows. It allows multiple Windows environments, including Windows XP mode, to run on the same machine. Windows XP mode runs Windows in a virtual machine and display applications within separate on the Windows 7 desktop. Furthermore, Windows 7 supports the mounting and mounting of a virtual hard disk, which is VHD, as a normal data storage and the bootloader delivered. When the Windows 7 can boot the Windows system from a VHD, however, this ability is only available in the Enterprise and Ultimate editions. The Remote Desktop Protocol or RDP of Windows 7 is also enhanced to real-time multimedia, including video playback and 3D games, thus allowing of the direct extend in remote desktop environments. The three applications limit previously present in the Windows Vista and Windows XP Starter has been removed from Windows 7. All editions include some new and improved features, such as Windows Search, features new to Windows 7 that originated within Vista. BitLocker Drive Encryption is included in Windows 7 Ultimate. Windows Defender is included. Microsoft Security Essentials antivirus software is free download. All editions include Shadow Copy. Backup and Restore have also been improved, and the Windows recovery environment installed by default replaces the optional recovery console of Windows XP. A new system known as Libraries was added to file management. Users can aggregate files from multiple folders into a library. By default, Libraries for categories such as documents, pictures, music, and video are created consisting of the user's personal folder and the public folder for each. The system is also used as a part of a new home networking system known as home group. Devices are added to the network with a password, and files and other folders can be shared with all other devices in the home group or a specific people. The default libraries along with printers are shared by default, but the personal folder is set to read-only access, and the public folder can be accessed by anyone. The video modes supported in Windows 7 are 16-bit, sRGB, 24-bit sRGB, 32-bit sRGB or 30-bit with extended color gamut sRGB, and 48-bit sCRGB.
Good morning po. Ako nga pala si Ricardo Nalos. Para sa report po namin or sa video log na gagawin namin. Sa akin po natoka yung different version ng Windows 7. In this video, hopefully makapagbigay sa inyo ng tamang impormasyon ang bawat pagkakaiba ng Windows 7. Ang unang version na titingnan po natin ay ang Windows Starter Edition. Ang Windows Starter Edition ay mainly nakadesign siya sa mga netbooks. Nakikita nyo, wala siyang media center or DVD playback. Kasi usually, yung mga netbook natin, wala namang siyang CD-ROM or DVD driver. Wala rin siyang Windows Aero. Kasi yan po, ang Windows Aero po ay graphics po. Graphic package po siya. Yung usually, mga netbook po, meron lang mababang graphics kaya hindi na siya kailangan ng Windows Aero. Wala din siyang internet connection, sharing or ICS. Wala rin siyang IIS web server. At tumatakbo lang siya sa 32-bit version hanggang maximum ng 2GB RAM. Wala rin siyang Ultimate Tech, e.g. domain connection and BitLocker. At next po natin is ay ang Windows Home Premium. Dito sa Windows Home Premium, ito yung pinaka-baseline ng laptop na mabibili natin. Dito meron na siyang DVD playback, Windows Aero pa, or graphic package na pwede na siyang magamit na mas mataas na mga graphics. Meron na rin siyang internet connection, sharing, IIS web server, pero wala pa rin siyang domain connection, BitLocker, AppLocker, branch cache. At tumatakbo siya sa 64-bit version up to 16GB RAM. At meron siyang dalawang physical processor. Ang BitLocker po natin na tinatawag is pwede siya mag-encrypt, pero hindi pa siya pwede dahil po nasa home premium pa lang siya. Ang next po natin is ang Windows 7 Professional. Dito sa Windows 7 Professional po, pwede na siyang mag-connect sa Windows domain. At meron na siyang support ng remote desktop and EFS. EFS is mainly as encrypting file system, or pwede na siyang mag-encrypt ng single file na pwede nyo i-save. Pero dun pa rin, wala pa rin siyang Ultimate Tech gaya ng BitLocker. Okay po. Dito naman sa Windows 7 Professional, halos pareho lang siya ng Home Premium. Pwede na siyang kumonect sa Windows domain. Basically, ang Windows domain, ito po yung Windows server with number of computers connected so that they can share each files. Meron na siyang remote desktop and EFS, which is encrypting file system. Dito sa encrypting file system na to, pwede kang mag-encrypt ng single file. Kaya lang hindi pa rin included yung BitLocker, AppLocker, branch catch. At tumatakbo siya sa 64-bit version with up to 192 gigabytes of RAM. And next is, ang pinakahuli po ay ito ang Windows 7 Ultimate. Dito sa Windows 7 Ultimate, full version na siya. Meron na siyang domain support, remote desktop, EFS, gaya ng sinabi ko, encrypting file system, BitLocker. BitLocker is also encrypting tools. Pagkakaiba niya lang, ang encrypting file system can only save single file. Samantalang sa BitLocker, it can save or it can encrypt the whole hard drive. Meron na rin siyang apps locker, branch code, at tumatakbo siya sa 64-bit version with up to 192 gigabytes of RAM. And lastly, meron pa pala itong Windows 7 Enterprise. Dito sa Windows 7 Enterprise, usually ito sa mga corporate lang to. Meron siyang corporate license na tinatawag. With ang corporate license po is a single activation key that able to set an amount of computer created by the Windows. Halos pareho lang siya ng Windows Ultimate, kaya lang siya mainly is for enterprise lang or for corporation lang po. Ayan po, salamat po. Sana may natutunan kayo sa diniscuss ko at malaman nyo kung anong pagkakaiba ng bawat version ng Windows 7 and kung anong may tutulong nito para po makapamili tayo ng tamang OS para sa computers natin. Thank you.
So hello guys, I'm Joshua Solero Maglangit, or you can call me Josh. So I'm here for system requirements, minimum hardware requirements for Windows 7. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by the way, it's 5 components. It's processor, memory, graphic cards, free hard drive space, and optical drive. Ito po yan. And then ito. So we have, in components, you have two kinds of bit. It's 32-bit and 64-bit. Ang processor for 32-bit is 1 GHZ and then IA32. Ito pa yan. Ito. Then, what is IA32? IA32 is short for Intel architecture 32-bit, sometimes it's called i386. Is the 32-bit version of x86 instruction set architecture, first implemented in the Intel 80386 microprocessor in 1985. IA32 is the first incarnation of x86 that support 32-bit computing. Ayan po yan. And then dito naman sa 1GHZ x86-64, ito ba? x86-64, also known as x64, x86, 64, AMD 64, and Intel 64, or Intel 64, is the 64-bit version of the x86 instruction set. It introduced two new modes of operation, 64-bit mode and compatibility mode, along with a new 4-level paging mode with 64-bit mode and new paging mode. It supports vastly larger amount. And then sa memory 1 gig for 32-bit, and then 64-bit, 2 gig for 64-bit. And then graphic cards. DirectX 9 graphics processor with WDDM mode 1.0. So what is DirectX? It's a collection of application programming interfaces, IPIS, for handling tasks related to multimedia, especially game programming and video on Microsoft platforms. Direct 3D is also used by other software applications for visualization and graphics tasks such as CAM engineering. And then dito naman, sa free hard drive space, we have 64 GB or gigabyte for 32-bit, and then 20 GB for 64-bit. I'm sorry, dito pala sa graphic cards, sa what is WDDM or Window Display Driver Model. WDDM is a graphic driver architecture for video card drivers running Microsoft Windows version beginning with Windows Vista. Guys, dito naman tayo sa optical drive. We have DVD-ROM drive. Or disk read-only memory. DVD-ROM. Or digital versatile disk read-only memory. Or DVD-ROM. Digital versatile disk read-only memory is a read-only digital versatile disk commonly used for storing large software applications. It's similar to compact disk read-only memory, but has larger capacity. A DVD-ROM stores around 4.38 gigabyte of data. A CD-ROM usually stores 650 MB of data. A DVD-ROM permanently stores data files which cannot be changed, written over, or erased. A personal computer with a DVD-ROM or a DVD-ROM drive is designed to read a DVD-ROM disk. Generally, a DVD-ROM disk is not equipped to be used with a DVD drive connected to a home theater system for television, but many DVD-ROM drives can generally read a DVD movie disc. That's all, guys, and thank you.
How to install Windows 7. This step-by-step guide demonstrates how to install Windows 7 Ultimate. The guide is similar for other versions of Windows 7 such as Home Premium. The best way to install Windows 7 is to clean install. It is difficult to perform clean installation. Before you start the installation process, I recommend that you check Windows 7 system requirements. This is to ensure that your hardware is supported by Windows 7. If you don't have Windows 7 driver for all your hardware, it is a good idea to download all the drivers from the hardware manufacturer's website and save all the necessary drivers on a CDR or a USB drive before you start the installation. Windows 7 DVD is bootable. In order to boot from DVD, you need to set the boot sequence. Look for the boot sequence under your BIOS setup and make sure that the first boot device is set to the CD-ROM or DVD-ROM. Step 1. Place Windows 7 DVD in your DVD-ROM's drive and start your PC. Windows 7 will start to boot up and you will get the following progress bar. Step 2. The next screen allows you to set up your language, time, and currency format, keyboard, or input method. Choose your requirements, settings, and click Next to continue. Step 3. The next screen allows you to install or repair Windows 7. Since we are doing a clean install, we click on Install Now. Step 4. Read the license terms and
tick Accept License Term. Then click the Next to continue. Step 5. You will now be presented with two options, Upgrade or Custom. Since we are doing a clean install, we select Custom. Step 6. Choose where you would like to install Windows 7. If you have one hard drive, you will get similar option. You can click Next to continue. If you have more than one drive or partition, then you need to select the appropriate drive and click Next. If you need to format or partition a drive, then click Drive Options. Step 7. Windows 7, start the installation process and start copying all the necessary files to your hard drive as shown as the image. Step 8. It will go through various stages of the setup and will reboot your system few minutes. Step 9. When your PC reboots, it attempts to boot from DVD as it's the first boot device. Do not press any key during the boot prompt, so Windows 7 will continue with the installation by booting from the hard drive. Step 10. After the reboot, your computer will be prepared for the first use. In step 11, at this stage you need to choose a username and computer name. Click the continue. The user account you create here is the administration account, which is the main account for your Windows 7 that has all the privileges. Step 12. Choose your password and password hint just in case you forgot your password and need to jog your memory. Step 13. You can now type the product key that came with Windows 7 and click Next. If you do not enter a product key, you can still proceed to the next stage. However, Windows 7 will run in a trial mode for 30 days. You must therefore activate Windows within 30 days, otherwise you cannot access your computer after 30 days. Step 14. Help protect your computer and improve Windows automatically. Choose Use Recommended Settings. Step 15. Review your time and date settings. Select your time zones, correct the date and time and click Next to continue. Step 16. Select your computer's current location. If you are a home user, then choose Home Network, otherwise select the appropriate options. Step 17. Windows will now finalize the settings for your computer and restarts. Step 18. After the final restart, Windows 7 will start to boot up. Step 19. Finally, you have the logon screen. Just type your password and press enter or click on the arrow logon to Windows 7 for the first time. And last stage, step 20. After you have logged onto the Windows 7 for the first time, you will see similar desktop to the image. At this point, you can start using your computer. However, it may not be fully configured. You need to make sure that all the hardware is detected correctly and the necessary devices are installed. This can now be done from the device manager.